Welcome to episode 449 of the Geeks for the Win podcast, the tech and gaming podcast from thegeeksforthewin.com, where we cover all things geeky. I'm your host, William, and I'm joined with my co-host, Stuart.
Known across the internet as Casual Terror.
Okay, we're back doing we've been doing gaming-wise and then sprinkling some news.
Ooh.
There's some stuff to talk about. I'm excited about.
Yes.
One kind of topic that I have. But what have you been up to, Stuart?
Well, I've been orange lately. I don't know why my lights all of a sudden just went, we're going to turn orange right now. So give me a second. I have not been playing anything new. I have been playing the same thing I have the last many weeks. And that is, I've been playing Fortnite. Continuing playing Fortnite. And Will, why did you never tell me Fortnite was so fun?
I believe I have in the past, yeah. But I think all the building, you just didn't hear me over all the building that was happening.
It was the building that did it. What is wrong with my lights? I've lost my scenes. And I've just blinded myself.
Oh my god. I did see, I haven't watched it, but I saw on the Marvel Entertainment YouTube channel that there's a trailer for, I guess, a Fortnite X Marvel comic that's probably start releasing.
There was a DC one, if I'm not mistaken.
There was, yes. That happened,
so,
I think, a couple months ago at least. But it shows like Spider-Man saving, I don't know, Fortnite guy. I don't know what his name is, but
Jones.
The like Jones, yeah, Jonesy Jones, something like that, yeah.
Nah, his
blonde guy, yeah.
His name is Jones. Because I've gotten deep into the Fortnite lore. Because I'm like, okay, I've not been playing this game for 3 years. What's the story that I have missed? So I've been getting into that. Kind of digging down. Apparently, The Rock is in it as like an alternate reality version of The Rock. Is a character.
I've heard about this. Yes.
I find that very strange and very funny. Just gonna turn off my lights for a second. Okay, that's cool. But yeah. Fortnite's still fun. I'm just gonna be orange for now, because I can't. All of my settings just went. Where's not delete?
You look like you're like you look like you're during like a scene in like a movie where like you're doing a seance to like like summon the devil or some shit that orangeness.
Yeah.
It looked really cool. Like
okay, there we go. Just turn down the brightness a lot. Okay.
That looks good. Yeah.
I don't know what I did.
Lighting sucks. Like,
well, I've got new lights. If you notice, I've got some, like, I had background lights before, but now I got new like actual like hue lights that actually like change color, and I can do like cool shit. Like it can sync with music. It can sync with games. Like I've played played Fortnite. And like the loading screen, all of a sudden my whole behind me just goes blue. Like the loading screens and stuff. So it's kind of cool in that way. But yeah, apparently doing what I just did just deleted all of my presets.
Oh, that sucks.
So yeah, that's I don't know. I don't know how to get them back. But where was I? Oh yes, uh, no building is that. That's the way for me to play. I just I can't build. I can't build. They did add like 2 days ago, I think it was, Moon Knight as a skin.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
That's cool.
Moon Knight is now
Is
a
it
skin with an alternate version of Mr. Knight.
nice?
Sir Knight. Sir Knight. Yeah. So okay, now I have two Marvel skins because I totally missed the whole season that was completely Marvel based. Because like there was a whole season like Thor came down and like he was like the Silver Surfer, the Herald of Galactus. Yeah, that was Thor. He came down being the Herald of Galactus, which then called upon other Marvel characters, Tony Stark, Captain America. Eventually, like, Captain America led this huge resistance army against Galactus that came to the Fortnite island. Like it was the actual like cartoon, or the actual Galactus, not just cloud mist.
Yeah.
So like everybody got like their own like battle bus and like just like millions of people and like Tony Stark led the charge, and yep, that was a whole season, and I missed it because I hate building.
Gotcha. I checked not too long ago. I don't have as many. Like I have a lot of original skins, of course, but I don't have a lot of the like you know character one, like the crossover ones. Because I think I stopped like right soon after they started to really dive deep into crossovers with all the
Yeah,
with everything. I do have Harley Quinn, so I think that's the biggest crossover like skin that I have.
yeah. So the rumor right now is like when like an Obi-Wan starts, there'll be another kind of crossover event with Star Wars
Oh,
again.
makes sense. Yeah. I do have the Millennium Falcon as my glider.
Oh yeah, I've seen that, and
I got that during their Christmas event where they were like giving away free, like you just would open gifts and they would give away random stuff, and I just got that randomly for free.
yeah. I've definitely seen that, and I've also seen it bugged too. But that one's one of like the more larger gliders that I've seen. Like there's
It's
some
pretty big. Yeah.
like I've got one. It's um from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's like a Viking ship. I was like, and this takes up my entire screen because it's so damn big. Um, but yeah, there's a whole like the storyline that's going on right now is like there's a war going on between like the Seven and the IO, which the IO have been around since like the Cube time. And yeah, I'm enjoying Fortnite. Oh, I did also. I said it was only Marvel skin. Nope, I lied. Prowler. Prowler just came out. It's like he's like
Oh,
the the secret skin that was. It's not that secret. Um and
it's kind of a random one, a random character to have a skin come out. Like,
yeah, like a lot of people are thinking that like, well, maybe like Miles Morales is coming. Because you know they just had Spider Man, so you know Miles Morales might come as a skin, which that'd be cool.
I wonder, because the new Spider-Verse movie got delayed, but I don't know if that'll like if they had plans for a crossover
That's
during that time, that may not get delayed, so that may still come out when it
right. But
to
that would
Fortnite when it does.
having Prowler come out now. That's a bit advanced in time for that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just mean like the other stuff. Like we may get like a Spider Gwen, when
That I hope we get a Spider Gwen.
Spider Gwen's costume looks so good.
I hope we
Like,
get a Spider Gwen. That'd be so cool. Um, but yeah. Hey, guess what? Fortnite's fun again. Or I guess it's fun now. And I know you're not into multiplayer games anymore, so but yeah. Um, the other game that I have been playing a lot of um has been, of course, uh Final Fantasy 14 because it got one a major patch came out 6.1 and it added new quest lines, new main quest lines, new dungeons and new raids, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that game, the I don't know if ever, the free trial is back up, and it's waiting for everybody to join us over in Eorzea. It's completely free. The base game, the first expansion, completely free. But really, that's it for me. Like I've not done really much anything else other than those two things. You are muted.
oh, there, I've done like pretty much less. Like, I've been in a gaming funk lately. Like,
I'm kind of with you. Like I'm kind of with you. Like I want to play games, but then like there's not really a whole lot coming out that I want to play right now. So other than what I have been.
yeah, mostly for me, mostly what I've been doing has just been Minecraft. Like,
Right? Yes,
just building stuff.
I have been seeing you in Minecraft a lot lately.
Yeah, I've been building random stuff. Like, been finding videos like build guides on some things that I'm like, oh, because I have a world with some friends, and
Mm-hmm.
um I've just been like, oh, that's kind of cool, I want to build that. And then it's like they're like, oh, that looks really cool, and I'm like, yeah, it's from this. And they're like, oh, I don't know what that, I don't watch that, or I don't like. And I'm like, oh, but it's so good. Like, oh, no one appreciates. But let me see. Let me. Where's the button at for? Stream. Guess there. Let me take you into. Oh, okay. Pause the preview to save resources. Okay. Let's take a look. I'm currently in the middle of building something that's
Complete
actually
darkness.
what is it, a original thing, not a video, a build video. um Something that I took that's in the real world that I took I looked at images of and recreated. My local theater.
All right.
It's pretty spot on, Stuart. Like, let me see if I can. Uh, I'm pretty proud of this, quite a bit. Let's pull up an image to show you. Here we go. Of course, I found this image after I pretty much built the outside. So I had to use like Google Street View, to like and to be able to get good like
Okay.
images and whatnot. I don't know if you can like put that on the stream
Yeah.
to show the comparison, but it's pretty good. I feel like I'm pretty proud of that.
Well, why don't you just not
Of course,
download the image, but just
I made some changes here and there, but just because it's impossible to recreate some stuff in Minecraft. But and I'm also doing this like while I'm like watching like YouTube videos or
sure.
doing other like it's just something where I can do while I'm consuming other media. It's great. Like there's a couple other things I'll show once we're I even made movie posters. I don't know if
Nice.
you can see.
Nice.
um yeah, it's pretty proud to find that one and make that. So yeah, I'm this is like the first like thing I'm really proud of because I made this like this is an original build. Like I was just like, okay, let's start with this. Okay, there's the glass. Okay, and then there's the red trim, and then the blue IMAX letters, and then the little like whatever these things are, in the photo. But let me show you. Let's see, no one's on. Okay, it's just me then. Let me show you a couple other things that I've built. Um,
Tommy's lookout. Nice. Nice.
that's one that I was so proud of. Like I found a build video, but I was so like, that's so cool. I love it. And the my other friends are like, oh, what is that? And I'm like, it's from Dragon Ball. And they're like, I haven't seen Dragon Ball Z. And I'm like, what? Like,
They're too young.
yeah,
They're too
I
young to
guess.
have
I
seen
don't
it.
know. It's so iconic. But yeah. Um, then they're even made to where like, because, originally you have to climb up, you know, you
Right.
had to climb up and before flying was a thing in Dragon Ball, you know. So I made it to where you could climb up it. Then let's go to. You recognize that, Stuart?
Oh, that is Fairy Tale. The
The Guild Hall.
the Fairy
Yeah.
Tale Guild Hall. Yeah.
This was a bit challenging because I saw there wasn't like a real build guide. There was just like a VOD of someone who was like streaming, you know, and they were just building this. So I had to like a lot of pausing and like, okay,
Right.
this is what type of stuff. But yeah, I was real proud of this, and of course they don't know what Fairy Tale is, and I'm like, you're crushing my dreams, people. Like, so proud of like this build.
It's good. That's good. That's
This is the first one too, like not the, you know,
yes.
because they go through a couple guild halls.
Things happen to that guild. Yes.
Then we got Avengers Tower.
Avengers Tower.
This was took a while, but it was pretty easy. Like, because it was only like 6 blocks, like 6 or 7 block
Oh, okay.
as
Yeah.
far as the variety goes. I tried to make um we go in here. I tried to make an elevator, but you know, like with pistons and whatever, but the
Uh-huh.
elevator, like I think maybe the latest version broke the way the elevator worked or whatever, because it was like, oh, it just keeps going until you put like obsidian in a spot to make it stop, but that's not what happened. It would stop like right here, you know, right before, you know, like any of the other floors. So I was like, well, that sucks. So I think I'm gonna build like just a, as much as I wanted a cool piston elevator, I may just build the crappy like water elevator, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and then my first few things, you know, because this was just going to be a survival or you know, like, because that's I like to play survival, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm not good at building.
I do too.
But then everyone was wanting to just do creative and all this and that, so I was just like, well, I guess I'll look up stuff to build, and I started with like the dog or the wolf, and then I added the I found a video for the wolf, but then I added the bone myself, and then the little heart, you know, for like when you befriend them.
Right.
Then I found like I made a little dog house. I found a dog house, like an image on Google Images. I just like dog house, you know, and just created one based off that. Um, I gotta say the one of the best things is like some of the cheats, because there's this block called a light block where you can light stuff up, and you can it lights things up and you only see it when you have it in your hand.
Oh,
Otherwise, yeah. So you don't have
nice.
to have like ugly lights, you know?
Yeah.
Like, let me just like show you. Like, I have like so much lit up with it, because unless you don't have it, you don't see it, you know?
Right.
Um, then I found like I made the wolf, and then they were like, "Oh, you should make a fox," and I'm like, "Sure, okay." And I found there was like a fox house, you know. Um, oop. So I started with this, and then I just was like, I'm gonna double it up and make a bigger one. So that's where this came in, this bigger one. I haven't really furnished this one yet, but just basically was like, okay, I'll make the same one, but just like double everything. And was there anything else that I made? That's pretty much it. I'm uh got the movie theater is the current thing I'm working on. There were talks. There are talks of like building uh a Wayne Manor and having like a bat cave underneath it, and
Okay.
that's kind of the outline for this. I found some random like mansion build, and I'm because like there's a lot of cool videos, but they're not like real builds. They're just like they say they're real builds, but they're just like like oh, this is, and we're just gonna speed this up, and it's a time lapse type stuff,
Right.
or crappy stuff. Some of the other stuff people have been building, like one of my friends, Topher, he's building fast food stuff.
Yeah,
We
I
got
saw the KFC and the McDonald's,
KFC, McDonald's, Starbucks,
Domino's,
Domino's, um,
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. He got a GameStop. Um, I had him build. Let's see.
Ah,
I saw
yes.
this. I saw
My favorite store closed.
I saw a taco truck and was like, "You should build a taco truck, like, have a food truck." And he did that. Um, was it? I've got a friend who's building a like castle that's like, I think 26 videos that are like a ungodly amount of time, like,
Wolf.
and this is how far she's gotten, and I think she's only on like video like 6 or 7 out of like 20 something, and I'm just
Wolf.
like, I could not do that. There's no way I could do that. Like, but it looks pretty impressive. So I got to give it to her for that. Um, and then we found there's a, what is it? There's a structure block where you're able to like you're able to place it down and you're able to copy stuff, and then you can like save it and then move it over and like basically paste things. So I've been I figured out how to use it. So whenever anyone wants to like move things, they're like, "William, help us. We need you to help us move." Like my movie theater, I actually built that somewhere else because I didn't like, you know, I didn't want to like just build it somewhere if other people had, you know, plans to build, like, you know, so I just went somewhere else, build it, and then was like, where can I put this? And we placed it, and it took 2 like copies, but like, and I messed up a couple times trying to copy it because, you know, you have to like place it in the right like coordinates, like the way the coordinates go, whether it's negative or positive, and set like an offset. Let me just like put this down just to like show you, like, you know, you can like change the size and the offset, like, and then just like, you know, name it, save it, and go to load, and then like, depending on where you want to place it, you have to like, make sure you adjust for the offset, and then if you need to rotate it, and it's a pretty cool like thing that's actually in the game, that's like not
That's
like it,
yeah.
it's
That looks like something
technically a
you
cheat.
would get from a mod.
It's technically a cheat, but like it's a cheat in the game. So like when you have cheats on, you can like give yourself it. The same with the light block. You just do the like, what is it? You do like a command slash give, you know, Gigi William structure block, structure underscore block, and then just gives it to you. And you're able to even 3D export. You like export, and then it like I don't I probably didn't pop up, but it like will save it to a file on your computer, and then you can like even move it into other worlds. You
Okay.
know,
Or
yeah,
you can share online.
yeah, you can share online. Yeah, so it's pretty. I've been backing up everything just in case. Like in case anything ever happens, I want to be able to have because I'm proud of some of the stuff I built, like
Yeah,
Kami's Lookout
that's
or
actually
the
that's
Fairy
good.
Tale Guild Hall, the Avengers Tower, and my local AMC theater. Like at least the outside, the inside, it's a struggle trying to you know figure out how to furnish it and how many theaters I want, stuff like that. That's gonna take some time, but at least the outside looks pretty spot on. Like so, that's basically been it for me. I've been doing a lot of this while like watching, you know, YouTube videos or
Sure.
other type of TV shows or listening to podcasts, whatever. Just mindless stuff in the background, just doing this while having other stuff on. But I'm kind of like a little like kind of getting a little bored with just building and building and building now. I kind of I think I'm going to like suggest cuz I've never done the in-game stuff in Minecraft like the Ender Dragon,
Mm-hmm.
or gone like to like the Nether cities or any of that stuff. So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to like suggest like, "Hey guys, let's maybe switch to survival and like do some of this stuff. Like because like really like for the last however couple years, like any Minecraft I've really done was like mods.
Yeah, that's kind of been like kind of since um probably 2010 when I kind of like 2009 2010 when I got into Minecraft. It's been mainly mods kind of from the get go.
Yeah, and before that, like before I did mods on PC like Minecraft, I was just playing Minecraft with people on like Xbox,
Yep,
where it was that was all you did.
that was
You could only just play on Xbox,
yeah.
no mods or anything like that. So it was pretty much watching like Achievement Hunter do mods and stuff. That's what had me want to try out like Sky Factory
Mm-hmm.
or all the other different type of mods and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna try to do that, and then I feel like I want to play some other stuff. Some stuff that's not just like just building in Minecraft, like you know other games. I just need to figure out what to play. But yeah, I just really it's just basically been that. I haven't really even played Destiny like in the last couple weeks.
That's
I've like
surprising.
logged on. I've logged on just to well, I mean like the people I play Destiny with, we've been playing Minecraft. So that doesn't help, but I've like logged on just to be like, okay, what can I buy for like the in-game currency Bright Dust that I have loads of. Okay, cool. There's a new shader. I'll buy that. I'll do that. Okay, and that's pretty much it for the week. Oh, there's an emote. Yeah, I don't really like that emote, so I'll pass. Stuff like that. I just, like log on once a week for the last couple weeks just to see what if there's anything I need, like new shader or whatever. But apparently there's like a big like patch notes like update whatever that released yesterday for Destiny that I haven't really looked into, but everyone's like from what I've seen from the outside they're changing a lot or they're tweaking a lot or adding a lot or there's something big going on in Destiny, but like I don't know nothing about it right now. So eventually I'll have to like look that up for myself, but just yeah.
Fair enough.
Um, I
Uh,
guess we can get into news.
there is a
Or
game that I've not played, but I'm interested in.
ooh, okay.
I haven't bought it yet. It came out like 2 days ago. It's called Myth
I
Force.
I don't think I've heard of this.
It is. Oops.
Myth Force.
It's on. Whoops. That wasn't right
Oh,
transition. But it looks like an '80s action cartoon.
it does.
Um, but it's like D&D, like a little bit of Left 4 Dead. Like it's kind of like the Left 4 Dead style. But it's also a roguelike. And there's more. It's not just that stuff, but like that's what I remember about it from being described. And I kind of was like, I
Interesting.
want to kind of try it. And like I said, it's on an Epic for like $30. If I can get some other people to try it, I'll buy it. Because apparently it's like the four characters are like your D&D like stereotypes. Your rogue, your ranger, your fighter, your sorcerer, or your paladin, I guess. Um,
Interesting.
but I like the art style. Um, so yeah, that's the game I'm interested in. I haven't bought it yet.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Yeah, the art style, I kind of like it. Yeah, it does kind of look like the 80s cartoon. Yeah,
And that's what it's going for. It's definitely leaning into that look. You got the almost like synthwave like colors, but
feels like 80s style. 80s everything is coming. Like the look for 80s style stuff is like we're seeing a lot of 80s style
yeah,
this or
like
80s style that or
it's like fads are like cyclical. Like they'll go out and they'll come back. Like I remember you know you know bell bottom jeans were they came back for a while. Like there was a while where like disco almost seemed like it was going to make a kind of a comeback because there was some pretty good like disco like music that was coming out, and that was really good.
we're kind of talking about the Thor trailer a little
Yeah.
bit ago before, that 80s style look. The
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy stuff has always been 80s style
Yes.
looking. Like there's been other instances too that I've noticed, and I'm like, the 80s had a cool aesthetic to it.
It did.
Like
It did. It definitely had a look. But that's a game that I'm interested in playing.
gotcha. I guess we can jump into some news. I don't know if you've got any or not, but I
I
got
got none.
two things. One, I guess we can touch on real quick is kind of an odd thing, but it's like I don't know. It's like two things you love or two things you like coming together. Um,
I
that's
I've not played Warzone in a while.
true, but like also you haven't, but Call of Duty Warzone's getting Godzilla and King Kong
I'm I'm wondering
mode thing.
I'm wondering
I
how this is gonna like. Is it gonna be like a Fortnite style event? Like Godzilla comes out and like because like there was a kaiju fight in Fortnite. So like, is that going to be like an event like this? Like everyone is just kind of on the map, and like this happens. I
I
guess
don't.
Warzone has done events before. So
There's like a trailer, but it doesn't really tell you anything. Like, just like, oh, it's Godzilla and King Kong, and they're fighting, I guess. But from what this says, the event's called Operation Monarch, which that's from the movie, right?
yeah,
The
that's from the movie. I was like, okay, is there a new Godzilla movie coming out? Because there's
this
such a tie-in
was
with
over
it.
a year ago. The
Yeah,
Godzilla versus King Kong was over a year ago, so it's kind of a weird, like, really? Okay. Um, I wonder if like maybe this got delayed. Maybe this event was supposed to happen back then, but maybe they had to delay it because of COVID, you know,
I
and they
doubt
just put
it.
it off.
I doubt it because I mean, the new map, uh, Caldera, you know, it's like a Japanese island, like the Japanese WW2 style island. So like it makes sense for Godzilla to be there because of that look, and it makes sense, but because it makes more sense for it to happen there than in Verdansk, which is kind of a Eastern European island.
Yeah, but like, yeah, just does there's no real information. Like this Engadget article is like says, oh, it's called Operation Monarch, and it isn't clear exactly how this will fit into Warzone. But apparently, there's going to be in 4-player quad mode coming, or maybe that's what this will be. I don't know, but yeah, there's no real like information on what this is going to be, except for it's a Godzilla and King Kong
I mean,
tie-in.
there's already a quads. There's already a 4 player team mode based off several class experience with a Titan size twist.
Yeah,
I don't. Okay, what? I don't understand. I don't
I
understand what's
don't
going
know.
on here.
I don't know either. It's interesting. But yeah, I saw this and I was like, oh, and this I guess May 11th. That's when this is gonna come out. So like 3 weeks,
Yes.
little less than 3 weeks. Yeah. So, yeah, it's something to look into or keep an eye out, and you know, it'll be. I definitely want to know what this is gonna be. At least, you know, like Godzilla and King Kong and Call of Duty Warzone. Like,
Yeah. I'm.
it
I too am
piqued my
curious to see
interest.
what happens.
The last thing or next slash last thing I got, very first Dungeons and Dragon Direct was
Which
shown.
I think I prefer better than the live shows that they did the last couple years.
Yeah, it's live shows. Like, I don't know, live shows are great and all, but like there's something to be said for like these like direct type stuff where they're able to like make sure it's, they're able to edit it and have it like,
Mm-hmm.
you know this is the final product we want to release. you know Everything is counted for. There's no fluff, or any fluff we do throw in there like is just like the hosts making some lame jokes, which they did. There were some lame
Oh,
jokes in
sure.
this.
I
Um,
that's expected. That's expected.
but they announced a lot. And this was only like, they said this was supposed to be like 30 minutes, I think, but I think it was maybe a little longer. I don't know. But
I didn't actually watch it. I just have seen what's come out of it. So I don't know. what it was
Oh,
actually
I
like.
watched it. Like I watched most of it live, but like the last like 5 minutes or so, like I watched it like on my tablet while I was out somewhere, and then I had to like leave, and so I had to watch the last like 5 minutes when I got home. But they announced a lot of stuff. I guess we can the biggest or the biggest like unkept secret,
Kinda.
like
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Spelljammers, but the secret is 3 books.
Which
That I
that's
wasn't
really cool.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be 3 books.
No, I was expecting it to be a book and maybe and then an adventure. But this one is an adventure, another one is a book, and then a monster manual. Like cool.
Yeah, which and they also released like a monster compendium that has like monster like on D&D Beyond and I think Wizard of the Coast, whatever. It's like 10 free monsters that's available for like, I think that's from like Spelljammers or whatever. That's available right now. I was
I
looking at
haven't actually looked at
some of
it.
them. Yeah, it's on D&D Beyond and I think the Wizard of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons website, whatever. So, which is cool. Like it's in, um, uh,
I
there's
know,
also going
I
to
know,
be.
I
Oh,
know.
go ahead.
D and D Beyond is going to have like a mini because this because that'll comes out in like August, but there's going to be
There's a
like a
prequel
prequel
like adventure.
adventure that's going to be free on D and D Beyond in July.
Yeah, which is cool. Like, and also the D&D Beyond is now part of Dungeons and Dragons Wizard of the Coast as
Yes.
well. So, like,
Ooh.
which is kind of crazy that like because we see all these big acquisitions. We're used to like Microsoft making all these big acquisitions and stuff, and then like this one, we're more like, okay, we're not going to see anything come from this for like a year, but like no, like this acquisition shit's happening quick, like
Uh, this was definitely planned before then, but yeah.
because
Um,
like there's like I think in May there's going to be like account mergers or something like that. I saw, right? I don't know if you saw that or not,
I
but
have
like
not.
D&D Beyond accounts are going to be like also be merged with I think Wizard of the Coast or something like that. I saw that on a Reddit. So,
I have got to point out uh that thing right there.
oh yeah.
That the Eldritch Lich. That thing is disgusting.
Oh, what's the there was one that I was like, "Oh, that's a name for like where's the compendium."
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Oh, okay. Asteroid spider. It's the size of an asteroid. Got it.
Where's the name? Nightmare Beast. Yeah, that's a name.
Sure is.
That's a that looks like a nightmare beast to me.
Especially its size. That thing's humongous.
Yeah, it's. I was
Or I
like
could say
briefly
it's
looking at this.
gargantuan. That's the official
Yeah,
size.
I was briefly looking at this the last night and was like, oh my god, there's some interesting stuff. But yeah, Spelljammers, D&D in space. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Which is something that I'm like, okay, I want this to come out. I don't know, some asteroids that come down on your guys as well. I don't know. It's just shit might happen. You guys gotta go up in space. I don't know.
Maybe maybe we'll come across some giant space hamsters because that's a thing.
Yep.
Like I don't even know. Like it's so crazy. Like but yeah, like 3 books, and also like we mentioned the prequel adventure as well. Like,
Yeah.
and the fact that all this is coming out like in the matter of a few months, like
Yeah, but
it's pretty crazy.
like Spelljammers, I feel like has been whispered about for over a year now.
Oh yeah, like it was the Unearthed Arcana, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I want to say even before that Unearthed Arcana came out, kind of around the time when they started reincorporating Dragonlance stuff. People are like, okay, yeah. Oh, what about Spelljammer? Yeah, let's bring that back in.
which there's more Dragonlance stuff they
Yes.
announced. So, which
It,
I
I
like, I
have I have
don't
no
know
ties
what
to.
that
I
is.
didn't read any of those books. I've not read any D&D books other than you know compendiums and bestiaries and
Yeah, there's a like Day of the Dead inspired thing too,
yeah.
which I don't remember, and I don't remember this in the direct. I've seen this post like in articles and stuff. I don't remember. Maybe they didn't touch upon this that much in that direct, but there's a new starter kit, um,
Yes.
which cool. Like
I mean
it's always good to
I
have a
mean the
jumping on point for
the
new
rules
people.
have been updated. So yeah,
Um, oh, this is kind of cool, but like kind of irrelevant for us because we don't play in person. But the campaign cases,
I've
I
not
think, are
actually
really cool.
looked at them.
Like there's one that's like it's a token thing where it's like, those window clings that they have where you can
Yeah.
peel and they have that for like monsters that you can peel and put on these like token bases.
No, dude,
Um,
those are pogs.
well, yeah, they're like,
They're
but they,
bringing back pogs. That's
and it's like really ingenious because it's like 100 and like this is 159 illustrations, illustrations that you can use, and it's like it just makes, instead of having to lug around like all these different miniatures or having to spend money on all these miniatures, you're
right.
able to like you know easily have like all these different monsters and stuff like that, and they don't take up a lot of space, and they also have a campaign case for like terrains and stuff like that.
That's cool.
So
But my favorite bit of advice, and we don't play in person, so this is to use little pieces of candy as the enemy.
oh yeah.
Instead, like I was like, well, you got the kill, you get the gummy bear. Like that'd be way more satisfying.
And I saw that, Stuart. And I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. It's a meme talking about pre-ordering the campaign cases, and it's waiting for Etsy to make better versions of them.
Yes, and yes,
Which
that will happen
that will definitely happen, yeah,
because
for
my
sure.
god, are like especially people with Dungeons and Dragons, the amount of creativity and shit that people do is amazing.
Oh, no doubt. Um, but yeah, I thought that was really cool to be able to like for like a dungeon master to be able to easily carry like be able to carry and not have to like pick and choose what kind of monsters he wants to bring,
Yeah,
if they're not hosting at their place, or whatnot. They can be like, okay, I can have all this, and I can have 100. I have 160 illustrations that I can easily just peel off, put on these token bases, and use for whatever combat or whatever. So that's pretty clever, I thought. What else did they have? Dragonlance. Uh, they 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 talked about a new like show that they're releasing. What is it? The like officially partnered with them. What's it called? Like I think it's Legends of the Multiverse, something like that. Um, I don't know if you saw that at all.
I have not seen
Yeah,
anything about that.
Legends of the Multiverse. It's I remember watching it like it's like here's a 1 minute trailer for it. Um there's like 14 people starring in this. And this is like a campaign like a Critical Role, like campaign content type thing. But there's like 14 people like that they have showing off in this trailer like and it's like, "Oh, okay." That's a lot of people. How are they going to like how's that going to work? Are they going to just like one session is half of them and then the next session's the other half, or like
Battles will take forever.
right? Like I just
Oh,
remember
I've
watching
seen I've
this.
seen her on TikTok. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Like there's some people like that I
Yeah,
recognize names and
Brandon
stuff.
Lee Mulligan. Like, unfortunately, like a lot of his shows are behind a paywall, which sucks. He like I he honestly, it's hard to pick who's a better DM, Matt Mercer or Brandon Lee Mulligan. He's part of the um um College Humor crew. And like they're like like they play like multiple like D&D games. Um and he's like very good. Like he's one of those people who can just pull information that he read, when he was 3 years old out of his ass. Just like, oh, and here's this tome that I'm going to now relay to you.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those type of people.
The name I'm most excited about this is Jim Zub. I'm not sure if you know who that is.
That guy right there.
He's
He looks familiar.
he writes he writes for Dungeons and Dragons comic books, but he also has written some really good Marvel runs. Um he he's written for Thunderbolts, Uncanny Avengers. He did Avengers No Surrender, which is a really good uh arc, comic arc. So like he's was it he yeah, he did the Rick and Morty Dungeons Cross and Dragons crossover too, stuff like so like he's good at storytelling. So it'd be interesting to see someone like that, you know, be a player.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, he's done some stuff I didn't even know about. Samurai Jack comics, like I didn't even know there were. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. But I knew him. I knew he's done Marvel and the Dungeons and Dragons like stuff, comics. So, and then there's some random content
Oh, and
creators
he's
here
playing
they added here and there.
like a well-known person too in D&D lore. Because he's
Oh,
from,
is he?
yeah, it's from like Baldur's Gate 1. One or two. Um
Interesting.
whenever you see like the space hamster, that's closely tied with him.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Because he's got a space hamster as a friend.
14 people though, like I just I don't know how that's gonna work. Like the only thing I could think of is like it's got to be like two different groups, and they like alternate, right? Like I
Possibly,
can't
yeah.
imagine.
And who's
All,
DMing it? That wasn't in the trailer.
Yeah, that's right. There wasn't, but it's all these people who, like, there's a lot of people who have DM'd that are players in this.
Yes.
So that'll definitely be interesting. But yeah, they announced that along with the movie. They didn't show. I was hoping maybe a trailer they might show, but they didn't. They only gave like the name.
Yeah, so we still don't have a release date for it.
We do. It's March 3rd,
Oh,
2023.
I should have clicked on the article. It says right
Yeah,
here, March 3rd.
3/3/3/23. So because I
Honor
think they
Among
said something about.
Thieves.
I think they said like they had like the directors or whatever, and I think they were talking about how they just wrapped up or they're about to wrap up or something like that. So
This quote, we just wrapped up shooting in some of the world's most incredible locations.
yeah. So like now it's a year of post production.
Right. Yes. Um, and what I
Slash
told
reshoots.
right, and what I told you when we got the name, like, okay, I hope we get some Thieves Cant, because reading up on Thieves Cant is something I can't do. I can't do Thieves Cant. That's just, it's a magic that is beyond me. It's amount of improv that I can't do. Um, but it's really fascinating.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Besides some like minor things, like we've translated a lot of our popular books to other languages, which is like that's kind of cool.
Cool.
Like like I think German, Italian, Spanish, stuff like that. Like the not everything, but like the main stuff, like Tasha's and the more recent
Mm-hmm.
big stuff. So it's like that's cool. Like good for them, like that and like the starter set, just like making things more like making it easier for people to get involved in D&D, because like we're new to D&D and
Yeah,
we're glad that it was easy to jump into, like,
it was quite easy at the time.
and now it seems like it's even easier. And who knows, hopefully with the acquisition of D&D Beyond, they'll start adding like digital codes with the physical book, stuff like that.
That'd be cool, because I like the physical books, but I'm almost like, well, I got on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, like exactly. And my other DM, he said the same thing, and I was like, "Well, my friend who DMs my other game said that exact same thing." So it's yeah, that's what DMs want. They want to have the physical book,
Yes, yes, we do.
but they want they want to be able to have the resources
Yeah,
for when they have to play online.
right.
Yeah.
Because like having the books is one thing, but like having it online and just being able to pull it up quickly when you need it, that's something completely. That's useful.
Yeah. Like I wish it'd be nice to have some of the books. Luckily though, like you share some stuff you share with me,
Mm-hmm.
so I've got like I'm able to like pull up my tablet and just like when you bought the fizz bands, I was like, "Oh, cool." Like and I was able to like just read through and look through stuff on my tablet, and there's like that's kind of cool. But yeah, having physical books, there's just something about
Right.
having a
I mean,
physical
the
book.
the the art that goes in these books is like, I really love the art. Like that's something I really like to just flip through the pages, like, this is just pretty. That's a horrifying beast. Okay. Um, I'll put that in my next session.
Yeah. So it's yeah, and this something tells me this isn't even all the stuff that's coming out this year. Like this is just some stuff. I'm sure they have other things they'll announce later on. You know.
Possibly.
because they've been doing a good job releasing content like a lot quicker than. I don't know if this is just like we're just not used to the way D&D stuff is released, or like if they're ramping up because it's been more popular in the past year or so, but like
It could be a
it
bit of
feels
both.
like they're coming out. Yeah, they're coming out with a lot of content like regularly,
Yeah.
which is nice, you know. 3 books for Spelljammers, like that's crazy.
That's yeah. That's awesome.
And you know, it's something for everyone, you know? Like I'm excited. Yeah. They also, you know, the Baldur's Gate, they announced that that's actually coming out next year. You know, they announced some other stuff, like some other like video game stuff, I think maybe little things here and there they
I did
announced.
hear that there is another like D&D, like cuz like they were
There's a new
closely
Neverwinter, I think, expansion coming out or something.
right.
Yeah.
I did hear a rumor about a new game. Um oh right, it's Dragonlance, isn't it?
Yeah. Evil space clowns, vampirates. Vampirates. that's that's a thing. Like,
Yes.
oh, so good. Like, yeah, I'm just so curious like how Space Jammers is gonna be. It just sounds so fascinating, you know? Like, I'm excited. But yeah, this is a lot of stuff like that they announced in just like 30 minutes, you know? Like roughly 30 minutes.
Yeah, there wasn't like someone trying to cook some fish, but it being covered by like the bottom third panel.
I have no idea what that's referencing.
The 2020 D&D live, because that
Oh,
was when they came
the
out with
yeah.
the cookbook, and they had somebody in their house trying to make the food, but like the lower third had, you know, the information that would be on a lower third, but it cut out the pan of the person cooking the food. So you just
Those D yeah.
it was
Those
not
D&D live events were just not that great. Like I've just been disappointed in those. Like
yeah.
especially like the potential, you know, like that they have, you know. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, there's so many cool people you have like playing in a game of D&D, but like you can't get them better equipment. I don't know if it's gotten better or not. I don't know if the latest one they were back to doing it live or whatnot, but like, you know, together, but like when they were doing those at home, like through the internet, it's just like, oh, really? But yeah, I'm still passionate about D&D. I really am. I enjoy playing, you know, looking forward to playing, and you know, I enjoy listening or hearing about all this stuff and you know, that's yet to be released. And you know, Spelljammers, I had no idea. I knew little about Spelljammers, and then hearing about all this and seeing all this stuff, it's just like, oh my god, this is like this opens up everything, like a whole new aspect to D&D.
It's
Like,
it's spaceships, it's sci-fi and D&D. Yes.
yeah, it's, you know, cities on comets. That's just crazy. Like, I love it. Like, I want a cartoon about based on like Spelljammers. Like, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
So yeah, lot of big, and we kind of teased, or we kind of, I don't know if we talked about this on the show or not. Um, but like I remember us talking about when it back in January, the the president of like Wizards of the Coast got promoted to CEO of Hasbro,
Mm-hmm.
we were like, we both were pretty much agreeing that like there's gonna be some huge D&D stuff that happening because of this now.
Yeah,
Like
but
I don't we didn't expect it to be this soon, like the
well,
D&D Beyond
not
stuff, but
only is like big things happening in the D&D and Wizards of the Coast section, but like if you've looked at like what's going on with Power Rangers lately though, like and like the plans for the upcoming Power Ranger stuff is like, okay, I'm hopeful that it's not going to be absolute garbage.
oh, the 30th anniversary stuff.
The
I've
the
seen some stuff.
the 30th anniversary season, which will be the last, like it'll kind of wrap up, like it's like the timeline that they've been in since Mighty Morphin, and then after that, Hasbro will start its own universe, but it's its own thing. Um, but like from what I've heard about the third, it's going to be one ranger, and it's a she. She will be the Red Ranger, but she will be joined by other past Rangers,
Yeah, I saw it
and
was
it'll be
David
like kind of
Yost
like
who played Billy.
a
He's on
rotating.
board.
He is on board for a couple episodes. It'll be like a rotating cast kind of a thing. With the Red Ranger being, the mainstay throughout the entire show.
Interesting. Okay.
So like that sounds cool. And it's like it's all all like original footage, original suits, all that kind of stuff. It's like cool. And then Hasbro will start its own Power Rangers universe.
I wonder if they're still going to keep that universe, the current one going, like in comics and stuff like that. At least,
Comics probably, because like Boom has been doing a good job with
yeah.
with
Like
their Power Ranger runs. So like probably in the comic books at least. Um, but I don't know. The future of Power Rangers looks pretty good. And it's gonna be
who
all on
knows?
Netflix.
We mentioned multiverse. There could be crossovers with the current and the new one in the future because of a multiverse. Everyone wants
Technically,
to do multiverse.
the Power Rangers are already a multiverse.
That's true. Yeah, with the Dawkins, right? And
Yeah, I forget which. Like there was definitely a crossover with like Ninja Storm, and like the previous season was like that was like a like, oh, our universe is like being choked out by poison, so I can't breathe your air, so that's why I can't show my face, because because I was not paid enough to show my face as the actor.
wow. Okay.
That's kind of how that went.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. But yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah. Hasbro making a lot of moves, looks like.
Who'd have thought?
Right?
Who'd have
Like
thought?
it's also like just going back to Power Rangers real quick, or sticking on it real quick. It's crazy how like the ownership of that, how much that's changed in the last like 10 years, right? Like
Yeah,
or maybe longer than, I don't even know how long, like, because it was like Disney, and then it's been on like, Nickelodeon, and it's been on, Saban got it back, and now Hasbro has it, and now it's on Netflix, and
yeah,
like it's kind of crazy how the ownership of that has like changed so frequently,
yes.
like, but yet it's still like a popular franchise, like.
It is indeed.
Yeah, so I guess that's all the news I got. I guess we can wrap up
Yep.
shorter show, not too bad. So be sure to follow us on Twitter. Stuart's at Casual Terror. I am at Will Play Games _, and we will catch you next time.
And remember, no animals or harm can make into this podcast.